So I'm led to believe that there are currently no UFC games on the Nintendo Switch, despite fans of the genre crying out for one. Well, today your prayers have been answered by none other than Go Game console publisher with their latest release, MFC Midnight Fight Club. This one promises unparalleled graphics, a diverse roster of fighters and realistic physics, but we all know that these guys are so full of shit that their eyeballs are turning brown. So let's take a look at what this one really has to offer, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Nintendo Switch content. So let's kick things off with a bit of perception versus reality, shall we? Because as per usual, the screenshots and gameplay footage are a load of bollocks with this one, and I have no fucking idea why Nintendo keep letting these companies get away with it, because surely there has to be some kind of legal ramifications for false advertising, but this is the trailer, and then this is the in-game footage. And these are the game's screenshots, and you can't even do tackle maneuvers in the game, so I've no idea what game this screenshot is actually from. Getting into it though, the main menu is the same generic shit you've seen a million times before. You have a bunch of different characters to unlock, earned by first gaining fame and then purchasing them using the in-game currency, and I don't know if all of these are based on famous UFC fighters, but I reckon Colin McGregorson here is supposed to be a play on Conor McGregor, only blacker. The settings menu though consists of a couple of audio sliders which thankfully save automatically, and the control scheme tells you pretty much everything you need to know about the depth of the combat in this one. Getting into gameplay though, you get 3 different game modes, and we're going to kick things off with the career mode. And as per usual, this is a series of career stages, each containing 5 fights for you to compete in, which you must complete and win one after another in order to progress. Now, my first fight opened with a short, silent pan around the octagon as a ring girl carried around some floating round 1 text, but as the music kicked in, I was then informed that it was time to fight. As you can tell from the previously displayed control scheme though, there's barely any strategy involved in the fighting in this one, despite the developers' claims that it features a dynamic combat system. You have your Y button which throws various punches depending on what direction you hold in the left thumbstick, the B button which performs various kicks, again depending on what direction you hold, the right thumbstick which allows you to dodge left and right, and the ZL button is used to block. You have a stamina meter at the top of the screen which is expended whenever you perform an attack and slowly regenerates when you don't, but also degrades over time, leaving you with less total stamina to work with. But this regenerates at the start of every round, and there are no health meters in this one, so no way of knowing how hurt your opponent is other than some generic bruises and abrasions shown on the face, though I doubt these actually give an accurate indication of their physical well-being. In these first couple of fights though, I was trying to get a feel for the combat and work out if there was actually any strategy to them. I ducked and dived through some punches and kicks and tried out the blocking, which appeared to defend against almost any hit, as there's no way to actually direct your blocks in different directions in this one. What I discovered though was that your character doesn't always throw punches or kicks when you press a button, and that sometimes the animations don't even play out at all, so you'll find yourself or your opponents taking hits without actually seeing them happen. Each fight in the game though consists of multiple rounds, and once the 1 minute timer runs down to 0, you'll get a loading screen followed by another pan of the arena to start the next round. And in this first set of tournament bouts, I was actually able to down all of my opponents in the second round, after which I was rewarded with some fame and 2 types of currency, but not before the game decided to crash on me. The 5th and final fight in the set was a boss fight, and you might be thinking, ooh, a boss fight, I wonder if it's against a special fighter with unique abilities and patterns, just like the eShop description promised, but no. Is against another generic fighter with the exact same movesets as every other fighter in the game, only this time the fight lasted 3 rounds instead of 2. Now, following these fights, I decided to pump a few points into upgrading my character since I didn't have enough cash to buy a new one, and looking at the stats of them, it doesn't actually seem worthwhile to unlock them anyway unless you're looking for a change of scenery. But I dropped 30 grand on power, which rose it to 5, 20 on speed, which improved it by 2 points, and another 20 on defense, which upped it to 1. I then proceeded onwards to the next tournament level, known as the local showdown, and here I found that doing away with all the ducking and diving and simply mashing the A button to pummel my opponent's face into mush, and that my slight increase to power meant that I was actually able to down all of these opponents 30 seconds into the first round. Unfortunately though, after getting to the boss fight, I noticed that the first 2 fights in the series were greyed out, and I decided to click on one just to see what would happen. To my surprise, the fight actually started up and I was able to complete it, but after doing this, I was then no longer able to select any of the tournament stages, and quitting out of the game didn't fix this. And there's no way to reset your progress, so uninstalling and reinstalling the game appears to be the only solution here. Not willing to go to that kind of length though, I figured that I might as well check out the other game modes. The 1v1 mode is, as you'd expect, a single fight against a random opponent, which is pretty much identical to the fights found in the tournament, and the 1v3 mode takes place in a glitchy looking arena and apparently has you fighting 3 different opponents, but you'd be hard pushed to notice this since the only thing that changes is the colour of their shorts, and you don't even get the knockout notification. The game just cuts to black and loads up the next fighter. So, despite the claims of this so-called developer, MFC Midnight Fight Club is not the ultimate fighting experience and is in fact a steaming pile of shite. Who'd have known, right? It's a shallow UFC clone which has zero depth to its combat mechanics or progression system, looks like a mangled dick, though I have to admit it's probably the best looking game that these guys have ever put out, and the soundtrack lets you enjoy tunes with such wonderful lyrics as Pussy by Association. As usual though, we get another scam game from the #1 scam artists on the Nintendo Switch, that being Midnight Works, whose eShop description is an AI generated wall of wank and whose screenshots don't actually represent the in-game visuals. I've said it before though, and I'll say it again now. Nintendo, sort your shit out. You're a fucking embarrassment to the gaming industry, and I don't care how much money you need to pump into your R&D division, because us gamers and consumers deserve much better. That though just about does it for this review of MFC Midnight Fight Club. I do hope I was able to save you a bit of cash again with this one, and if you're looking to avoid more games like this, then consider checking out my Scam Games playlist. But for now, thanks to the patrons of the channel for their ongoing support, and to you the viewers for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and game on.